CJ Stroud's BBL. Could be a problem. I know what you're thinking. Paul, BBL? In 2025, that term refers to Brazilian butt lift. Are you about to go off on some tangent about the rumors surrounding Stephon Diggs and Cardi B's relationship where Stephon supposedly could smell the BBL, that BBL stank and was thinking about moving on from her, but that turned out to be, I guess, just some juicy gossip? No, I'm not talking about Brazilian butt lifts. I'm talking about CJ Stroud's bad body language. So he has talked about this earlier this camp, about how he's got to work on that. But when I was out there, and others have noticed this too, perhaps due to the offensive line trying to figure itself out in front of him. Supposedly they had a better day today. Or figuring out what receivers he's going to work with. CJ Stroud's body language, it's not been great this offseason. He was asked about that yesterday after practice.
I don't know. It's hard. I'm very competitive. I don't like losing. I don't like making mistakes. But I would say I just, in those moments, try to just breathe, relax, try to just calm my mind, and, just trying to just find something positive. Like, I always try to remind myself, like, this is cool. Like, I'm in the NFL, I don't like, God didn't have to bless me with this, but he chose to, and I got to steward it the right way.
Flex.
And I don't think, like, complaining about – I can complain every day if I really wanted to, but, like, there's no positive in that. So I try to just try that and just be grateful for the little things. And even though they're not little, they're huge, they're big. Like, I woke up this morning, and I'm able-minded, able-bodied, and I'm just blessed to have that. So I would say that helps me be more positive and have better body language.
I will say, though, when your offensive line is not protecting you and you got Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter sniffing you essentially every single play, and when the defensive backs are making it hard for those young receivers to get open, that the bad body language can return. It is very hard for anyone to go out there on a daily basis and say what we try to make you believe on this show, that today is the greatest day of your life, if you try to make it that. And listen, I'm a paid complainer. So like CJ, I do complain every single day. But I think Stroud's a little frustrated. He had a lot of reason to be frustrated last season. And I bet he thought that things were going to come together a little more quickly this training camp. But newsflash, it's not. It's been moving slowly. And today, August 7th, I believe this is either practice 12 or 13. There were some signs of progress, but the signs of progress have been minimal. And I mean, today, the bigger takeaway from Texans training camp should be they might be without C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the safety that was the crown jewel offseason acquisition for a prolonged period of time. That's not good. This is something Stroud's going to have to get better at. He's not the only quarterback that does it. The worst body language quarterback in the league is Caleb Williams, and you've seen more of that from Caleb Williams just this offseason. I know it's one isolated moment that went viral. Caleb Williams is trying to throw footballs into a net, and he just keeps on missing, and he loses his mind. But the Bears have publicly talked about how they all have to have better body language. Caleb Williams needs to, and so does DJ Moore, who probably had worse body language than Caleb Williams last season, whether that's due to the former Bears head coach Matt Eberflus or their former offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, or due to Caleb Williams holding onto the ball too long and sucking whenever he does that. That's besides the point. But there are other quarterbacks who do this, who pout. I used to think that Geno Smith would be a bust at West Virginia because he had the worst body language at West Virginia when things didn't go so well. But he is now at a point in his career where he seems to have shaken that off and actually evolved into a guy that players in that locker room respect and don't punch in the face from time to time. So, which happened, IK and Pally, look it up.
Happened once.
It did happen once. But imagine you're the starting quarterback of your team, you get punched in the jaw.
That's pretty tough.
I would have bad body language after that, to be perfectly honest, if we're telling the truth here. But bad body language, you can't have it as a quarterback. You always have to seem calm, cool, and collected. And I get it. Like Tom Brady, he had his freakouts on the sideline. Joe Burrow, if you've watched that quarterback series on Netflix, he's had his freakout moments on the sideline. There's a lot of that, but you got to keep it minimal. And honestly, those little occasional explosions are natural when they happen on a football field. When you're sulking around, the other guys in the locker room, the other guys on the field sense it. So whether it's guys on the sidelines who are on the defensive side of things and they see the quarterback's like looking glum, they're probably not going to feel so great about making a stop if the team's down will result in the offense driving the ball down the field. An offensive lineman can read that. Receivers can read that. Like, the quarterback position, unfairly, is the one where you have to act like everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's fine and good and fine. Nothing is wrong. I'm feeling great. Everything's good and cool and nice.
Yeah, I think especially like the bad body language when it's like sadness is worse than anger. You know, like the Tom Brady example. Gotta have a couple pelts on the wall like Tom did.
Correct.
And I'm not sure if Stroud is quite at that level yet. I mean, obviously he's not at paid or Tom Brady won a Super Bowl his first year starting, but there does take a certain level of gravitas you have to like be the guy that Peyton Manning did the same thing, rightfully so in my mind, not in Paul's. But you do have to have a little bit of like, well, he is, Joe Burrow, he is Tom Brady, he is Peyton Manning. He can get in my face and tell me I need to get better or whatever, that I screwed something up. And I think that like mad is almost better as bad body language or negative body language than sad, than like hanging your head, because that is the kind of thing that like infects the team. Like you said, that it is the Caleb Williams and DJ Moore thing in Chicago, where it's like, it actually would be better if one of them was pissed off. Like that would actually be more preferable than both just like slumping their shoulders and hanging their head.
Yeah,
and I think CJ
Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh out there.
Yeah,
the depressed suicidal donkey.
Yeah, I think CJ has a little bit of that.
Father.
Yeah, and I do wonder. This is something that while you were out, that Will Kunkel and I talked about, where like with Laramie Tunsil off the offense and out of the locker room, that there is more room, like a leadership vacuum a little bit for CJ Stroud to step up into.
He's going to take more of it.
Yeah, and so
I mean, not that Tunsil took it as it was, and I think that was a big problem for Tunsil. But yeah, to what you're saying, I totally agree.
But it is like one guy ahead of him in the pecking order, because when CJ Stroud got drafted here, Tunsil was
Tunsil's team.
The dude, he was an all-pro. He was a like 5-7 year veteran at that point.
Exactly.
And I think now there's a little bit more room for CJ Stroud to step into that. And I think there'll be some growing pains. I mean, he's still a young guy. Like, some of this is just like maturing as like a 24-year-old. But I think that given everything, I think CJ Stroud, we talked yesterday about Cam Ward having a good head on his shoulders. I think CJ Stroud's the same way. Like, I don't worry about this going terribly wrong, but it does need to improve, I would say.
Bad body language. CJ Stroud has acknowledged that he has it, and we've seen it enough at training camp where it's something I hope he works on, in addition to a lot of other things.
It's a little understandable, too, at training camp.
For sure.
Every day is just like you're getting your ass kicked.
And it's been very one-sided, and you've still got a ways to go until the first regular season game. I doubt we see CJ Stroud Saturday against the Vikings.
It'll be good to hit someone else, though.
Oh, the biggest cliche out of training camp, for sure. For sure. I'm sure that was said at today's practice by D'Amico Ryans, too. I haven't gone through that entire presser. From the 512, talking about bad body language, anger makes you look like you think you're better, like you're not living up to your own expectations. Being sad makes you look defeated, like you don't think you can do it. Totally agree on that.
Yeah, that's a good succinct way of putting that.
Mm-hmm.